Hello, everyone. My name is Mario Rodriguez, and today I'm going to be speaking with Silvana Soriano about her upcoming piece, We Are the People, for the exhibition 40 Women Pulling at the Strings of Civic Engagement. So we're just waiting for now to get Silvana to join the live, but in the meantime, for those of you that have already joined us online, I just wanted to welcome you to put whatever questions you may have throughout this entire conversation into the chat, and we will be looking at those near the end of the interview. So any questions that you might have about the piece, about Silvana in particular, about the upcoming exhibition. By the way, it's going to be live October 3rd at 6 p.m. So be sure to check on that as soon as possible. Oh, Silvana is here. Let me go ahead and add her. We're just waiting on it to load.
Hi, hello, how are you?
How are you?
Fine.
Such a pleasure to be able to get the chance to speak to you about this beautiful piece and about this project in general. So I just want to start off by asking you a quick question about the timing of this work and the current climate that we're living in. It seems rather ironic to me that we're having this great celebration of a centennial of women's right to vote in the context of a point in time where voting is such a contentious subject and where we just mourn the death of what I personally think is going to be remembered as one of the greatest advocates of women's rights, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So can you just touch on kind of that sense of irony, but also the timeliness of an exhibition like this in the world that we're living in at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's ironic and very sad the moment that we are living right now in terms of we are facing tough times. I mean, in terms of rights, I think we step back a lot in terms of all the things that we thought that we already conquered, and now we have to face again and fight again. But I think that's why it's so important for us to show this work and to start the conversation, make people talk about, right? I
Yes.
think it would be a good time.
Yes, I think exactly. It's kind of a conflicting time, but a better time than ever to kind of engage in these sorts of conversations and hopefully get a chance to move forward again. So your work, specifically, We Are the People, presents women of different races and presents a really unique matriarchal voice. Can you speak on the importance of a matriarchal voice as opposed to a patriarchal one that we're so often used to hearing in our society?
Well, I think it's really important to have a different perspective. I mean, women, they have a different way to a different voice, a different way to talk, and a different way to act. And I think it's important to open more space for women to really engage in a lot of the different aspects of the society. I think we have much more. Ways to, I mean, we embrace more things. We are more, we work together. We have this resilience to, to move forward. I think that this is something that we really need to raise this voice and have more, balance on between the power, right? From women and men.
Of course, yeah, there is a sort of, I think, coming to reckoning with the reality that for so much time there's been an overwhelmingly male voice in politics, in art, in literature, and basically any aspect of life that you can think of. And now we're starting to see the door open, and it's really exciting.
Yeah.
But moving back to your specific work, I want to talk a little bit about your artistic process. What were you thinking when you were planning on creating this specific piece?
Well, when FAMA, the organization that just show up on during this pandemic time, and they came with the project for the exhibition for flags. So I start thinking about the team itself. That's the main idea, and then I try to because this is my process as an artist. I try always to pull a lot of different things to connect in one piece, right? To try to see all the connections that I could do with the piece. So I try to a lot, of course, talk about the celebration itself. So I put 4 women working in a quilt. Like this is something very powerful and very traditional here. The, the women working with the quilt itself. So I did them working in a flag. So it's a flag talking about a flag.
Flag.
And yeah, and I put the races there because I think this is another issue very important. And so I put 4 women, black and white, and 2 that could be mixed and Latina, to have all of them represent there. Kind of a self-portrait because somehow I am there too, right? Like an immigrant, and I try to put this all together in a piece, right?
So, I know you've already touched on this, but do you want to talk a little bit about how you got to the point of making this piece? Was it kind of an organic process? How does it compare to kind of your experience with your usual work with collages?
Yeah, well, it somehow has some similarity. Well, when I start thinking about the project, was in the middle of during my vacation. I am a teacher, and was during the peak of the pandemic. Everything was closed and locked down here, and all of a sudden I thought, well, okay, I have the more or less the idea, but when I start thinking about the material, I realized that I could not have a way to buy anything. And I said, well, maybe I can use some clothes. And at that moment, that's opened a window for me that I just found some clothes that I just keep like I put in a very small piece there because it were clothes that are old clothes that I have a very attached with them, but didn't fit me anymore. And I keep there because I thought, oh, maybe I will use this later. Maybe one day I will fit again.
Yeah,
So
we've all had those moments before.
so it's nice because then I realized, well, this is a moment that I can, accept that I'm getting older, that I don't fit, and don't be so attached to something like that, and try to bring the memory, the all the memories that I have in the clothes to put in something more permanent that would I have okay more permanent that than just give away the clothes. So I start to use my work is all made with old clothes, right? Uh, and it was very interesting to make this and to cut and like do a collage with the fabrics, right?
Of course. Of course. So, since we're kind of getting into the halfway point, and I see some people have started to jump into the call, I just want to remind everyone, if you have any questions at all throughout our conversation, you can add them in the chat below, and we'll try to touch on them at the end. And one of the big things that I think you touched upon in what you were just saying, Silvana, was the reality of the fact that this project came to you in a time when we were in social isolation, when social distancing was at its peak, and you didn't have the opportunity to go buy fabrics at your disposal. So can you talk about some other ways in which the fact that you were making this piece in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, like, affected it, and what your experience was with that?
Yeah, it was interesting that because we start to Aurora start to doing a workshop with some artists and teachers, and was a very nice thing that happened with us during this time because it was the moment that we could uh, relieve a little bit, work together and talk to about things and doing art in the middle of all the fears and the anxious that we are passing through.
Mm-hmm.
Was really important for me. And another aspect that I normally go, I travel to my country to visit my parents, and I could go, and I passed for moments super um, difficult because my father was almost dying. They have a lot of problems there, and I was here just, could not do anything. And then the work itself, to make the flag, was something that helped me a lot to calm down, to reflect about my memories, my family there, and try to make something good from that, from all this chaos thing, right?
I see. And yes, it's so crazy to hear all of these stories about the ways in which something that I think was necessary for everyone to do, stay at home and not be in public, really had damaging effects on a lot of people's mental health and their feelings of being able to socialize with one another, and in your case, even being able to see your family, which
Yeah,
is really a tragedy. But I'm glad that this piece, at least to some degree, came out of that and was able to comfort you throughout that.
yeah, it was
So
was really good for this idea.
I'm glad. Yes. So we are the people alludes to the United States Constitution's preamble, of course. But in a sense, it's also quite transnational because you are speaking from your perspective as an immigrant originally from Brazil. How do you view the centennial of women's rights to vote in this country in the US from your international context?
Yeah, I think when I use the we the people and I put R, I want to affirm exactly this because I think that when I arrived here, I if I compare my country with United States, I see there are a lot of difference, and especially this country is much richer and has much more opportunities. But even though all of this, we still see a lot of inequality, and this it's I see a lot of exclusion, right? So we see problem, racism and things that when I see we the people, I think I start thinking about, wow, um, we should include everybody. We should say that we are we are part of this. Everybody are part of this. It's not just a group, right? As the
Like a rallying cry. It's a confirmation of the fact that not only are white Americans part of the people, but all other members of our society are included in that context and should be in every sense of the word.
Of course.
So for now, I want to put a little pin in our questions that we have written down because I see here that somebody has sent us a question.
Okay.
I see here. Can you take me through your journey of finding out you were going to be featured on the news through the article in the Miami Herald and what that felt like? And this is by @Dimitri Joseph.
Okay, yeah, it was a good, awesome surprise to see my work on the newspaper. Uh, I was at the beach and some friend called me. I saw your work, and it was really cool too. It's nice to see that you. I mean, to have your work exposed in this way, and have people talking about and can promote the exhibition at the same time, and this is really very nice, and I'm very happy to be part of all
Yeah.
the process. Yeah.
Just remember the little people when you're famous. Uh,
That's true.
what are you hoping people to understand and receive from this piece? We've been talking a lot about your personal experiences and what your message is with this piece. But what do you think will come about on the other end of this conversation?
Well, I hope that this could open, start a kind of a conversation about inclusion. I think that's the word, to to accept and to include all people, right? So understand that we are nothing if we are alone. We need the others. We need to be together, and it's nice to be in an exhibition with so many people together, doing something, thinking about something. I think we have to think about, be a group again, be a community, and build this. That I hope that somehow my work is going to help on this conversation.
Of course. So that is for now all the questions we have. I want to thank everyone who posted some questions below. And just remind everyone that we have our exhibition coming up on October 3rd at 6 p.m. It's going to be featuring Silvana's We Are the People. So thank you guys very much and have a great evening. Thank you, Silvana, for your time.
Thank you.
Share with everyone where they can find you on social media while we're online.
Oh, okay. I have a website that is silvanasoriano.com, and here in Instagram I have Silvana Soriano Art. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Have a good
Thank you.